Welcome to part 3 of Assessing and Addressing Workforce Performance Solutions by Design. I'm Karen Carlton of Performance Solutions. In this last part of the video series, we're going to talk about some ideas for assessing and addressing performance in your workplace. When you're thinking about how your organization determines whether or not employees are meeting the needs of their job or their team or the organization, here are a few of the techniques for assessing employee performance. Think about which ones your team uses. If we do a performance recap of some of the things we've talked about, we can think about the 3 W's, or organizations as a system containing those 3 W's: the work, the worker, and the workplace. We could also think about those 5 conditions: people knowing what to do, being able to do it, being equipped to do it, motivated, and having supportive interactions. As well, we can think about doing people-centered or in-house research to find out exactly, are we getting the results that we need in different jobs or in different areas? So assessing performance needs really involves doing some research. Sounds a little dull. You could also just say studying a job or taking a closer look at workforce performance. Not only asking the employers, asking the employees, looking at the documents. So it's a very systematic process. It's also very systemic or big picture oriented, because we want to find out the gap between the current and the desired results in order to close them and figure out which are the best recommended actions to get us there. Some of you might be familiar with Deming's Plan, Do, Check, Act cycle, which provides a nice systematic way of analyzing what has been done, what are the results, and then changing accordingly. Now, I like to call it organizational research. Some people call it qualitative research or people-centered research. But regardless, if you want to find out what are the needs in your workplace, you really need to get a handle on what is the workforce performance now and what is it that we want. So it's a good idea to hire someone who's external, who's objective, who can help you get a clear look at the situation. It's also a good idea to use more than one method of finding out information from employees. You could survey them. You could also do a focus group. You might also want to do some workplace observations. As well, you don't want to necessarily just talk to the employees. It's a good idea to talk to their supervisors too, perhaps their coworkers, maybe even the customers. You want to have a balanced view of the performance. As well, numbers are great, but we all know that you can lie with statistics. So it's important to also have some descriptive information of exactly why people are doing things a certain way and how could they do things better. So that kind of detail is descriptive. We would call the others, or statistical information, numerical. Gathering all that data together, you want to analyze it and interpret it and figure out what are the common themes that we're seeing here for workforce performance, and what does that logically say that would be recommended to improve performance. So in short, when you're addressing barriers and trying to enable performers, it's a good idea to identify the obstacles that are preventing people from achieving the goals that they need to in their job, and as well offering the support needed, whether it's training or a job aid, coaching, or a new piece of equipment. You want to target those challenges that are going to give you the biggest bang for your buck. Looking at performance needs, it's a pretty logical way of finding the solutions that relate to the cause. So for example, if there's a lack of clear standards, you want to work to establish those. If people lack skill in doing something, then they need to be trained or coached. If people are not valuing rewards such as safety prizes or awards, then you might want to redesign the compensation for safety. So whatever the case is, the issue, it relates to what the solution is going to be to close that gap. Computer use is another example. So for example, If you send people to training, you've got a new software installed, and then they're not able to use it because the software has bugs in it, then you're going to have to look at the cause of the challenge in order to resolve it to get that better performance. Here's a few training indicators that yes, it is a training problem. So when we talked about training versus performance, usually training only addresses, or it should only address, that which is caused by a gap in skill or knowledge. If you've got a lack of motivation or people don't like your incentives, training is not going to be your answer. But here are some good reasons as to why employees may in fact need to go to training. Interestingly, conditions impact performance, and we talked about these, but again, good idea for you to think about these and realize which ones are affecting your workforce's performance today. And then you can think about what would logically be the solution to close those gaps. So here are a few more performance assessment ideas, some of them taken from our friends in HR. Of course, you've got the annual performance review, not the most enjoyable experience for both employees or their supervisors in a lot of cases. You can look at formal assessments, whether it's a skills test or a skills demo, perhaps opportunities such as completing programs at a post-secondary institution as well. You've got employee and supervisor discussions, so you can interview them and see what they're seeing. And of course, ongoing feedback and coaching are critical to performance improvement. And final idea, this is something you can consider as well, is engaging someone to come in outside and help you see what you may not be seeing. Putting a plan together to collect that information from the workforce, from the workplace, about the work processes to see exactly what is going to help you get better performance. So in summary, remember to think big picture with those 3 W's. Consider all of the conditions in place or the conditions that are needed for great performance. Be mindful of other people's perspectives, such as customers or coworkers, not simply just one perspective, such as the supervisors. Hire external help to help you learn more about your workforce performance. And remember, customized solutions are the best way to close gaps.